Hello, this is chapter number 2 of the Tripwire recordings. What I'm going to be doing in this recording is just walking through some of the extra functions or features in Tripwire just to help people sort of understand its capabilities. Nothing too complex, but to give you an overview, it's going to be looking at adding new tabs to our map, which is these things here. We're going to add a new character, which means we're going to have another tracking character up here. Setting gate connections, so if you've got a non-space or Empire space connection, you can add the next system over and add that to Tripwire as a gate. We're going to look at loops. Loops can be kind of confusing when you first look at them. And collapsing chains, also a little bit confusing and recently came up in our Corp chat. And adding multiple starting nodes to the canvas like we have here with Deep. So we'll have like 2 different nodes at the top here. The first thing I'm going to do is we're going to add a new tab. So I'm going to click on this little plus icon here. You can add any system you like, but I'm going to add Thera because I like to have the Thera chain available to me. And we're going to say include Eve Scout's Thera chain, which is their mapping, which they've shared publicly. And we're going to click OK. And there we go. There is now on this new tab and we can see all of the systems that have come off that based on the Eve Scout. I think it's an API integration they've got going on there. So that's adding a new tab. To add a new character, so there might be several reasons you want a new character, but let's just say you might have a character in Thera, right? Just as an example. So to track our new character, we just come into our name at the top here, we click on add, and we're just going to select another character and click on authorize. If your extra character lives on another account, you'll just need to go to switch user, log into that account, and then select the character. Once you've done that, the character appears here under the tracking list. Currently it's got my character set with an orange box around it, which means it's actively tracking that one. But to swap it over, you just click on the new character, and once it's got that orange box around it, it's ready for tracking. So if I go out scanning with that character now, it will track that character. We can also see here that the name at the top has changed. So if we click back to our other character, it's now tracking the other character. Pretty simple, right? The next thing is adding gates. So as an example, let's use our nullsec here. So this nullsec STAC MDYI, we can see here that it has 7RM TAC N0 attached to it. So let's just say we want to add that gate to the map. So we're just going to come up here, click on add new signature in the signature panel. You don't have to have an ID for it, but if you ever want to, you can just put something really simple in, just so it's there. Now you're going to add wormhole. So it's not a wormhole, but this is what the type is for. So we type in gate. So you can see here it's got NS, lowsec, highsec, Truglavian space, so we know there's gates in those systems. And we know that this gate, we're going to say that that goes to 7RM TAC N0, which is what we've got here. And we're going to click on add. So now you can see we've got the gate here. We've got a signature code as well. The reason I generally don't put the signature code in is because this gate will never have a signature unless you're combat scanning it, in which case you'll have some other weird signature. But if you keep that blank and you save it, then it just puts a question mark there, which is no big deal because we know it's a gate and we can see it in the system when we're in there. So that's how you add the gates to the system. I'm just going to talk to loops. So loops, when you first see them, can be very confusing. If you've used Pathfinder, let's just say you've scanned down this C6 here, this J1158444. No big deal, we know that that's connected to this system, this 105801. But if we come over here, we may be scanning in this C4, which is 103008, and we scan down a wormhole which is connected to this C6. So what will happen is when you jump that hole, if you end up in that J-code, Tripwire will add a round node to the map. So I'm just going to copy paste that. I'm going to come back here and we're just going to pretend we scanned one down. And we're going to say it's a K162. And it leads to this system. So now we can see that our wormhole here, so if I control F that, we've added the system over here, and we can see that it was already on the map because we've got this round node here. So that just means that that system is on the map twice. There's actually no way to drag the lines over to it. Tripwire just makes it circular so you know that it's connected from somewhere else in the map. I'm just going to remove that from our map so I don't confuse people with these nodes because they might be like, where'd that come from? Collapsing chains is my next topic. So recently came up in Corp. I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. So let's say you go AFK, you go make a cup of tea, go get a beer, whatever that might be. You come back to Tripwire and this has disappeared. So you go on Corp, you ask what's going on here. What I'm going to show you is, let's just say I've accidentally double clicked on this. So that makes it look like the chain is gone. When you're looking at the map and you think there's a chain there but it's gone missing, just have a look at the node, and if there's a line coming off the bottom like here, it's pretty high chance that you've double clicked on that node. So to get your chain back, you just double click on that again and your chain will pop up. It can be confusing at first, and I don't know if it can be hard-coded to disable that, but if you ever notice it's missing, then just have a look at the node again, look for the blue line. If there's one there, double click on it and the chain should be there again. The last thing I'm going to sort of walk through on this recording is having multiple home, I'm going to call them home nodes, so I don't know what else you would call them, or starting points if you want. But on this map, we can see deep. It's always at the top of the chain, but let's say we want to add another chain in and we want it on the same page as deep. Some people that have their own wormholes like to do it this way, but you don't have to. But to add another node, all you do is you just put a comma after the first code, and then you put the new code, and you don't put a space after the comma. So you just go OK, and now we can see that that chain is over here. So we've got it over here, and now it's a starting point over here as well. So I'm just going to remove that because I don't really like that view. But if you ever needed to, you could potentially set up let's say you've got to go on some sort of op, right, like a defense thing or a whatever it might be, an eviction. You could have the op hole as a secondary node over here, and that would show you all the chains in and out, and it would be on the same page as deep. So that's a pretty handy tool to have if you ever feel the need to use it. But I just wanted to show how that works as well, so you can refer to it later on. That pretty much concludes it for this recording, and on the next one I'll be going through scanning and adding signatures to the signature panel up the top here, and talking about bookmarking and the bookmarking folders that we use. Cheers.